So I'm actually in a relationship. It's going on 5 months now. It's with someone who I met through one of the dating profiles that Ruby helped me set up. And I would not have been able to, meet her if I had kept my old, style of dating profiles. I found someone that was kind of a quality match, a person that has similar, traits as me and similar aspirations for travel, for like career and like freelance work as an entrepreneur. So it really helped. Uh, if you calculate as an engineer, I kind of was thinking, well, if I'm spending, wasting months of trial and error and just going out there and trying to date someone, all the dates you spend, like, you know, dinners and drinks and buying stuff, and maybe like 2 or 3 out of 10 of them actually come out with second dates. And you're spending all this money like randomly trying. You're not even sure you're meeting the right people. And I
Mm,
think if you're more dedicated, more focused into finding like the niche and the values of the type of people you want, like Ruby kind of condenses months of, random searching and wandering to just like a few weeks of kind of focused work. If you're on the fence, I think you have to look at just how important it is to find someone special and to not be alone and to feel that, the money you're putting in is toward your long-term happiness. And for me, I couldn't put a price tag on it, but I knew it was more than, what I had to pay to meet with Ruby and work through this.
Hey guys, so thank you for listening or hopping on this audio. We have another story for you today that I'm so excited for you to hear. I think it's a very inspirational one, and it's with one of my own clients who's made it really far in this journey. This is Jackie. Hi, Jackie. How are you doing?
Hi there, Ruby. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Thank you so much for hopping on and being willing to share your story to everyone. So let's just jump right in. We're going to just start with an introduction. So tell me a little bit about who you are, kind of where you started, and where you are now.
Yeah, absolutely. My name's Jack. I'm 37 years old. I'm IT professional and also a part-time tennis coach. Um, Before Ruby, I guess I dated mostly casually and through friends, and I've had a few relationships, I guess over a year and a half in the past, but nothing, too long. And I recently moved to the West Coast, so I found Ruby at a meetup actually for introverts, and I didn't know she did this dating coach job until near the end. She mentioned to the group, and that's how I met Ruby.
Awesome. And what was it that got you to thinking, okay, I will seek this guidance? And I guess I'd jump ahead. And where are you now after?
Um, for me, it was partly twofold. One, I was new to the city, so I was trying to just meet people in general.
Mhm.
So the introvert meetup kind of helped do that. And then also, I knew because I was in a new city, I had to kind of find new relationships, start dating a new city, and it was a little bit difficult. I tried, going out and just meeting people, but it's hard enough just finding friends, much less, a partner. So I knew that because I was on travel so much, it was kind of difficult for me to spend a lot of time. So Ruby kind of kickstarted that and accelerated the whole learning process so I could kind of figure out what are the exact steps I need to do next to start dating.
Awesome. And where are you now?
So I'm actually in a relationship. It's going on 5 months now. It's with someone who I met through one of the dating profiles that Ruby helped me set up. And I would not have been able to, meet her if I had kept my old, style of dating profiles. Ruby really did, kind of a makeover for the online part of my dating. And I think I found someone that was kind of a quality match, a person that has similar, traits as me, and similar aspirations for travel, for like career, and like freelance work as an entrepreneur. So it really helped.
That is awesome. I'm so happy and so excited for you. I always remember, I think you talked about her, and then months later you emailed me, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like, which is great because, yeah, Jack always keeps me updated, so I always appreciate that. So speaking of how you got to that point, what do you think was like the biggest obstacle that you overcame, or I guess most helpful knowledge you gained during the time with me?
I think first starting off, I was a little hesitant. I did a lot of research, compared to a lot of different, dating sites, and, pay to post kind of things, and everything out there under the sun. But I was most attracted to the idea that, I'd have one-on-one coaching with Ruby, and then being able to talk to her at least like once a week. We'd have our scheduled meeting, and then being able to kind of go over what worked and what didn't work in the previous week, and the things that I should practice and kind of rehearse and try out in my everyday life. That all kind of came together and made me feel it was a better fit. Since, like I mentioned, the biggest obstacle kind of was I was coming to the West Coast. I'm kind of an introvert, so I don't really necessarily try to go to bars and meet people at
Right.
clubs or things like that.
Right. Awesome. And can you actually share a little bit about, even during our program, there were obstacles or struggles that came up, right? And I feel like a lot of people would align with that kind of process. Because even working with me, it's not always like it's all easy, right? There's still a lot of work that's involved in it. So
Absolutely.
can you talk a little bit about, let's say, certain struggles that you even vocalized to me, especially in regards to mindset? I think you grew a lot in that. So I kind of wanted to touch base with that.
Thank you. Yeah, I know that for me personally, I had to grow a lot to kind of be more patient, and then kind of go through the process, and just slowly, a week at a time, just, learn one thing, get good at it, practice it, and then, move on to the next thing and learn it. And I didn't really have success. Like, to be honest, the first 3, 4 weeks, I put stuff out there. I'd messaged a bunch of girls, and I was getting frustrated because, I wasn't getting, results. Like, at first, the messages that were coming back were few and far between. But I tweaked my profiles a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
With Ruby's help, we got some pictures in there, and then also she told me kind of to try to stay the course, kind of practice, the modules we had gone over, and try to, you have to trust yourself. Things don't magically happen overnight. It just takes persistence and patience, again, to actually get results in the long run. But it helped because I was getting quality results when I did get them. So
Awesome.
that was the biggest difference.
Love that. And then can you speak a little bit about kind of the overthinking that sometimes happens? Because I love that you mentioned how, yeah, at times it's, you're not getting these certain results, and it kind of makes you like antsy, and you're wondering, when's that going to come? So you start overthinking, right? How did you overcome that, and that whole process of changing that habit?
Absolutely. Later on, actually, I found out that I kind of have like a mild case of anxiety. And so for my anxiety, it's basically overthinking, overanalyzing, analysis paralysis, where
Mm-hmm.
basically I'm, seeing certain results, and then I'm like interpreting them in a very over analytical or negative way.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if I get like 2, 3 messages, and then suddenly I wouldn't hear anything, I would just assume, oh, they don't like me anymore, or I did something wrong, I said something wrong. I would just be too critical about, not getting success. And it comes back to, I'm kind of like a student mentality. So I always thought, if I'm doing the right things, something good should be happening right away. But it's, yeah, it's that overcoming the mindset of ruminating about uh, why things aren't happening, and then over
Right.
analyzing. Yeah.
Right, right. It's kind of like reducing and calming your mind down and everything. But because that I think I definitely saw was the biggest growth you had. You stayed at the end of it. You were like patience. You're cool. And you know it did eventually lead to this relationship, which is awesome. So you know it all turned out well. So can you
Absolutely.
actually give a summary of how well of my guidance and my coaching and how you would describe it and what worked for you?
Yeah, sure. So right off the bat, I knew Ruby is kind of a no nonsense kind of girl. She's pretty direct. She gives you kind of the bullet points. She summarizes things very well. She'll kind of like condense things, and she offers, I think, what most guys need and want are like solutions. You know, like direct, um, actionable steps that you can take to fix this problem, fix that problem. It's not just, you know, like a psychiatric consultation where you're sitting on a bed and just talking to her for an hour. She actually gives you things you can work on and things that'll help you, you know, to get better. And I think that's where her directness helps, keeps you on track.
Thanks. Yes, I like you said, no nonsense. But yeah, I think I told you even on the first meeting or call, I'm like, I'm very straightforward. And you're like, good. So it worked out for both of us. All right. So I know they said in the beginning that you are in this relationship now. Overall, in this relationship, mindset wise, confidence wise, how are you feeling now?
You know, like any relationship, there's kind of ups and downs. And I know that the things and hard work I put into it kind of pays dividends over the long run. And actually, I had actually mentioned to this girl I'm dating after, you know, 4 or 5 dates, she was asking, "Oh, well, I date all these guys. I don't know if they're serious." Well, I told her, I admitted to her actually, like, well, I've gone to this like dating coach, and she's like, "Dating coach?" I was like, "Yeah, I, you know, hired like a professional to kind of help me out, like, you know,
Mhm.
a hitch, a female hitch," and she was kind of interested, and I, you know, I mentioned it was a large amount of money for me at the time to, you know, kind of invest in it, but she was impressed. I spent like over a month of all these modules and seminars to finally meet her, and so she knew I was, you know, serious. Like I'm not just
Right.
putting my profile out there randomly and then spray and praying, hopefully someone comes back. So that actually helped me get some credibility with her that I was serious. Yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome. Yeah, everyone wonders if they should tell their significant other, but you definitely gave it a perspective where it could actually translate to the other person that you're taking dating and all of this seriously. Awesome. All right. So usually many people are too scared to get help on such a vulnerable topic. You know, it can be shameful, especially for certain cultures and certain backgrounds. So can you speak to that and what would you say to them?
Yeah, definitely from I guess my perspective, like as an Asian American, you know, the dating techniques and stuff aren't really discussed in your family. You know, affection and stuff isn't really shown, and I think Ruby has a good kind of you know, perspective on that too, and she kind of understood kind of where I'm coming from. But at the same time, I knew because um, you know, I'm kind of a busy person and I need to, you know, get someone to keep me on track, kind of like as a fitness coach or a person that spots you. When I do tennis, I have to keep someone, you know, working on the same thing, like the serve or the forehand. And Ruby really kept me kind of, you know, in line and working toward those things. So when I felt shame, you know, to try even online dating, for example, I had never thought, you know, 5, 10 years ago, I would meet someone online. Um, I knew that because Ruby was trying to get me to, you know, grow as a person too. It's not just an investment in dating. I think it's an investment in your communication style, your ability to make friends and connections. So
Yeah.
she gives the whole package, I think.
Thanks, and love that. It really does. When you work on one part of your life, it's sometimes you don't even see it, but the effects it plays in other areas in your life. Also love the comparison with, I mean, you are a tennis coach. You kind of see you're a coach yourself, and what a coach is used for. And I mean, dating may be a taboo topic, but actually, if you think about it, what a coach is if you don't have the knowledge or you don't know where to get to a certain or how to get to a certain result, that's why you get a coach, right?
Yeah, I think you're great at communication and improving connections with others, which helps me in my business, in my life, and not just dating, so it helped a lot of things.
Awesome. And so you mentioned even before that when you were telling your girlfriend about this, how it was a heavy investment for you. So everyone, of course, that comes through knows that. What are the reasons you noticed this kind of investment was worth it when you first said yes and you took the dive and said, let's do this?
I think the biggest thing is, I'm 37 and time's getting kind of short. And also, if you calculate as an engineer, I kind of was thinking, well, if I'm spending, wasting months of trial and error and just going out there and trying to date someone, all the dates you spend, like, you know, dinners and drinks and buying stuff, and maybe like 2 or 3 out of 10 of them actually come out with second dates. And you're spending all this money like randomly trying. You're not even sure you're meeting the right people. And I
Mm,
think if you're more dedicated, more focused into finding like the niche and the values of the type of people you want, like Ruby kind of condenses months of random searching and wandering to just like a few weeks of kind of focused work. And I think that's a more productive way of approaching dating than just trying random ideas that your friends tell you, or you just show up at clubs and bars.
right. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. It's like an investment in, well, time. And shortening the time it would have probably taken like for you to figure it out and things like that. Love that. So last but
Mhm.
not least, well, actually, two more questions. What qualities do you think one needs to be successful in this and be like you and be at that spot that you're at? What would you say to someone who's like, I think you need these qualities to succeed?
I think the qualities that most helped me is just being able to be a little bit more reflective and
Mm,
understanding yourself first. Like when you know yourself, you're going to find who you're really looking for. And 10 years ago in my 20s, the person I was thinking I needed and wanted to be dating and stuff was completely different than in my 30s. And as I learned through mistakes and past relationships, um, and also going through Ruby's kind of worksheets of where she kind of guides you through certain things that mean something to you and what you're looking for. It kind of helped me hone down, um, what it is that's important. So you have to be kind of honest with yourself. You have to be humble enough to seek a little bit of guidance, support, coaching, whatever you want to call it.
mhm.
Um, and you just have to kind of go with the process and let Ruby, who's gotten so many successes over the years, and I've seen her TED talks and all the testimonials from the other people. I knew she was a legit coach, and she could do this for a living. So she obviously knows what she's talking about.
Awesome. Great. Love that. A lot of self-awareness, I think. If it's not there yet in the beginning, to grow in that is very important in this process.
Mhm.
So last but not least, usually people that are listening to this are kind of on the fence or edge to working with me. So I'm going to leave this to you. What would you say to them?
I think it's definitely worth doing the first phone call, because I remember, sitting down and just going over, kind of my background and hearing kind of what your plan would be if you were to take me on. And you were already pretty busy. I knew you had like 8 or 9 other, students, clients working with you at the time, and I was really grateful that you spent the time to, have the chat with me and kind of tell me honestly, how much support or time you could give to helping me. And we worked out a pretty comfortable schedule. The fact that I had to travel to Europe for like 2 3 weeks, and you still were able to kind of work around that. I think that was really supportive and helpful and understanding of you to offer that. So it was very generous, and um, if you're on the fence, I think you have to look at just how important it is to find someone special and to not be alone and to feel that, you know, the money you're putting in is toward your long-term happiness. And for me, I couldn't put a price tag on it, but I knew it was more than, you know, what I had to pay to meet with Ruby and work through this.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing all of that today. Really
Absolutely.
appreciated your time and all of that. And I'm pretty sure whoever's listening to this is grateful for it as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. And until next time, guys, until the next story, but I hope this really inspired you and motivated you to, well, like he said, you know, this is for the long term. If you want that special someone, maybe quite an investment time, energy, or financially in the beginning. But you know, if you're serious about finding that person, then well, I'm here for you. Thank you so much again, Jack, and have a good one.
Thanks, Ruby.